What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Moto Monday. And today I think I've got a doozy for you guys, and it's going to be a bit of a history lesson, and it's also kind of a response video to what I've been seeing online to another video that I posted. And a lot of what it had to do with was I'd posted a video of some footage from my deployment, and I was like, hey, just don't forget, you know, why we get to live the way we get to live, right? We live in the greatest country on the planet, and we enjoy some of the best freedoms of any person on the planet. We get to enjoy, the ability to go out and make something of ourselves and have more opportunity at our fingertips than anywhere else in the world. And so I saw there was a ton of people responding to this, like, oh, you went over there and you died for oil and you lost your brothers to line the pockets of the rich and this and that and just on and on and on and on and on. And it is really easy. And I saw even other people that were like, oh, well, I'm a veteran. I don't think we were there for a real purpose or this or that. And it's like, I think what people don't seem to understand is, number one, every single flag is covered in blood, right? Every country to become a country, there's been bloodshed. Number one. Number two, it takes, a lot to run a country, and a country of this size. Now, war is just a kind of has fallen into this categorical spot for the upper echelon to not only, obviously, there's only so many reasons you go to war. Or I'm going to back up a little bit. There's only so many reasons you go to war, typically, right? Either you're getting attacked and so you're repelling attack, you're going in to attack someone else and take their land, take their resources, whatever, or there's some other like ideological thing that is not good for surrounding nations, and so you're teaming up and that's World War I, World War II, yeah, this good and bad, right? But what people don't seem to realize is, like, I saw a bunch of people like, oh, I didn't see my freedoms going over to Iraq. I didn't see my freedoms over in Afghanistan. How'd they get there? How are they being defended there? Afghan's not a threat. Iraq's not a threat. No, but terrorism is a threat, right? Like, when you have people screaming death to America and who have sex with children and animals, like, I'm sorry, to me, they're the enemy. Like, to me, as an American, as an American patriot, they're the enemy, right? And so, but that really is kind of like the surface level stuff that everyone wants to talk about, right? But the reality is, yes, did we go over there and secure oil? Yes. Did we go over there to make money? Yes. Did we go over there to have a say in how opium is traded? Yes. Did we interfere with the amount of Chinese-Russian involvement in Afghanistan? Yes. It's all part of this global world economic piece that no one wants to really like address or accept, right? And you can sit here and be like, oh, you died for nothing and it was a pointless war and all these things, and like I'm totally against this, that, and the other thing, but I don't see you moving out of the United States. I don't see you condemning like all of it all over the place. I just see you complaining, not offering solutions, and again, just sitting here, sipping your Starbucks, and enjoying the freedoms that going to war affords you, right? Every time that we go to war, what happens? We turn on that war machine, which is a huge way that we like cycle through and like, gain money. And, just look at, for example, economic crises, right? And and this is like the historical side of it, I guess. So I hope you guys are listening, and I hope this like really settles in, right? Because war is just a necessary thing for large, entities to exist, right? It's just a way that we know that can fix economic problems. So if we go back to the Panic of 1910, 1911, right, which was basically a depression that was onset by the Sherman Act, or the Sherman Antitrust Act, that basically was there to kind of like minimize monopolies. Well, amongst like regulating the competition between enterprises. Well, when that happened, it caused like a massive downturn in the markets. So, what you know, sorry, that was 1910, 1911, right? Then right after that, we had World War One, right? So we had recession, we have war. We skip forward not that much longer, right? We have the Great Depression. Everyone knows about the Great Depression. What happened right out of the Great Depression? We weren't even through the Great Depression yet. We were still in depression, 1939. World War II starts, 1939. We come out of World War II, booming economy, right? And then we go forward a little bit more. A minor recession, 1950, right? Met with a minor involvement in the Korean War, 1950 to 1953. And then you have the Eisenhower recession of 1958. And then, 7 years later, we enter the Vietnam War that was already going on in a major way, right? Fixing recession. Then you have recession in 1980 to 1983. And then you have the Cold War. The Cold War is us turning on that war machine, turning on that defense budget, stockpiling, and there wasn't really enough going on, so we called it the Cold War, right? So we're like, oh, well, like, shit, Russia's doing this and everyone's doing that, so we need to stockpile. We need to turn on the war machine because there's not really war going on, but we need money. So, and we need to fix the economy and fix the worldview. So that happens. Then you have a pretty big recession in 1990, and almost the exact dates. It's kind of crazy. So July 1990, you have recession, minor recession it starts in March of 1990, I think. No, it goes from July 1990 into March 1991, right? And oddly enough, July 1990 to 1991, Desert Storm kicks off August 1990 through February of 1991, right? So we were just using some of that stockpile that we had from the Cold War, and we're just finding excuses again to turn on the machine because of the recession. Then, so you have in 1998 is another huge recession, right? And this is like global things happening in this recession. You have Japan announces their first recession in 23 years in June of 1998. And then you have the Russian ruble is in trouble. They have the Russian flu going on, and that's in August of 1998. And then the U.S. economy falls into recession right as the Iraq war kicks off and the war on terror kicks off because of 9/11, whatever, right? Recession, war, recession, war, recession, war, recession, war. We can go on and on and on. And now you look, right? We don't have a war, and our politicians know that America is tired of being at war for the last 20 years, right? It was a great way to make money, but and we had a pretty good economy, right? We come out of war. I mean, check it out. We end the Afghan war, right? That was keeping basically America afloat financially, economically, because we are like the largest distributor of defense materials on the planet. And we go almost immediately into a fucking recession, right? And so what happens? Magically, and also, by the way, Russia's not doing that well economically, but they start their war machine, go to war with Ukraine because they're hurting, right? They're trying to fix their problem. And we decide to piggyback along because we're like, hey, we can try to the upper echelon is like just funneling money, obviously, and we all get that. But it's like their way of trying to interject, and find a way to solve the problem, right? Now, there's a lot of line in the pockets, don't get me wrong. But I mean, understand that as an American citizen, you benefit from America going to war, whether it's economically, whether it's us taking some sort of fight overseas so that it doesn't come here ever, right? Because let's just say hypothetically, we were to allow ISIS or these other large entities to keep growing and keep growing, keep getting bigger, keep getting bigger, keep getting bigger. It is possible that some other front is had. Now there's a whole other video we could do about our southern border and how many things are happening directly in our own backyard that need taken care of. But this is not a new concept. And again, every American benefits from war. So am I sad that I lost my buddies? Abso-fucking-lutely. It kills me every day. But I would not say that it's for nothing. One, from the personal level, right? The interpersonal level, like when you see the good that you do in another country that actually helps people, when you get thanked by foreign nationals for helping them, or like cleaning up their streets, or kicking the Taliban out of their town so they don't get taxed every time they go in and out of the market, you know, like when you see the tide turn in a place, it's really rewarding. Now, obviously we left and it kind of went to shit, but there was good that was done, right? And again, we all benefited. There's a reason that gas prices are the way they are, right? There's a reason that we get to enjoy the freedoms the way that we do. And it's because young men and women go out, they sign up knowing what they're getting into, right? And while they know what they're getting into, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't respect them and have gratitude for them and for what we have, right? And I know that I gave you guys times from 1910 to now, but I mean, you can go back as far as, I mean, it goes back. It just keeps going back, right? If you look at, there was the panic of the panic of 1797 to or 1796 to 1797. You know, the U.S., a very new country, right? We're fucking brand new on the scene, but we have like this fucking recession, and we happen to also just like, I don't know, go into that quasi war with France. You know what I mean? Like, this is just something that happens. It's something we do, and it's an ugly business, but it is a business. Like, understand that. Like, even war is a business. If you were to go to like SOFEX or any of these other much larger events that happen, like, you will go see, you know, presidents of countries who hate each other shaking hands over deals on defense materials or their buyers or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way the world spins. And if you can't open your eyes up enough to that, if you can't accept that, that's on you. But you really need to open up your mind a bit more outside of like the base level media bullshit you get fed. So with that said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this Moto Monday, and I hope that it opened your eyes a little bit. There is good in the world. We all benefit from war at some level. Again, whether you want to admit it or not, it's up to you. Whether you want to accept the truth or not, it's up to you. You can lie to yourself all day, but you can't lie to me. With that said, I will see you guys on Tactical Tuesday. Stay loose, battle on, and if you bitch in your heart, it'll show.